Hello everyone, we're out here on site taking care of some of our wonderful customers' properties. We've actually got Eric from Ego. This came to visit us today, and he's brought us some of his new commercial equipment to use. We're very excited to try it. Got Tim here using it. It's got the nice battery backpack that gets a ton of run time. I believe he said this will last just about all day. Depending on the piece of equipment you're using. Until now we've been using the Ego multi-head power head system that Ben's using over here. This will be our first experience with their commercial line, but as I've said before in other videos, their homeowner, the homeowner models they have are built as tough as any commercial equipment I've ever used, any commercial gas equipment. So if the commercial line they have, I can't imagine how tough it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be excellent quality. I can already tell that it's very quiet. You can hardly hear it. I'm standing 6 feet away from Tim, and I can hear very well. Looks like it's got a really good design, nice comfortable backpack, nice comfortable straps. I think the weight is probably, if I had to guess, maybe around 20 pounds, maybe a little bit less. It's got a carbon fiber shaft, so definitely a little bit lighter than most commercial trimmers. Just very well made. You can just tell by holding it already that it's going to be very well made. We're going to give this stuff a try. We're going to use it all day and put it to the test. We've got about 20 yards to mow today. And I'm going to make another video at the end of the day just to let you guys know how it held up compared to the Ego equipment we're using now. Like I said, it looks very well made. I'm sure we're going to be pleased just like we have been with all the other Ego equipment. And I'll make sure to post that other video and let you see how it does. All right, guys. Tim and Ben had a chance today to use the Ego commercial equipment, and just for reference, we're comparing it to what we already use, which is the Ego multi-head power head system. That's what we use for our trimmers and edgers, and we've been using them for about 2 years, and they're fantastic. So we got the opportunity today to demo the trimmer, and I'm going to demo it some more tomorrow and make a video about my own personal opinion. But just keep in mind that when you're listening to the feedback from my guys that we already use electric equipment, we already use Ego, it's fantastic, but we're just comparing it to what we use already. The biggest differences would be, obviously the backpack battery, which is going to have a significant amount more capacity than the Ego, the standard Ego batteries that we've been using. It's got all day run time compared to these, which we have to switch out maybe once a day. You might have to have an extra battery for each piece of equipment. Okay, so guys, what do you think? What did you say the ups and downs compared to what we've been using would be? From what you've seen?
It's lighter than the ones we use. This carbon fiber actually makes it a lot lighter.
Okay, so it's lighter weight.
The backpack seems a bit unnecessary, it seems a little bit of a hindrance, as opposed to having just a straight out weed eater.
Sure. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, like, these weed eaters right here, I could see where they'd be good for the line of work they're meant to be used in. They can run all day, they can do all that. But
they don't have near as much power.
As far as the work we do, I would prefer these ones right here.
Okay. So
the commercial weed eaters don't have the same amount of power as these weed eaters, and like you said a few minutes ago, ours do have a little bit more power than what we need. But if Ego wants to use these trimmers commercially, they're going to have to add a little bit more power to that if they want to get as much of a reaction.
Okay.
As they did out of these. Have a lot more. And it could be where we feel that way because this was lightweight. It weighs a lot less, so we might not be able to feel the power behind it as much. But as far as that goes, I definitely feel like these are more powerful.
Okay. So So the ones we've been using, the multi-heads, those are extremely powerful. They're probably the most powerful trimmers I've ever used. And I've had commercial gas equipment, commercial Steels, Red Maxes, Echoes, and these things are more powerful than those. I even heard a guy, you know, the Echo rep that used to just use other equipment. I had other guys tell them that they're stronger than the Steel 130s, which are very big trimmers. But they do have a ton of power. So apparently, you know, my guy's opinion from using it is that this doesn't have near as much power as the power head system we've been using. I don't know if you need all that power for regular maintenance. You know, I'm sure this thing has plenty of power for maintaining properties, but probably not going to be able to chop through 4-foot brush like butter like the other ones we've been using. But so that's one thing. The weight's a little bit less. You don't like the backpack as much as, you know, it's obvious it's a little bit more weight having these trimmers with the batteries on them, but you don't have to carry around a backpack all day.
Like I said, for the field of work this is meant to be used in, the backpack is very, very comfortable.
Right. I mean, for the purpose that they have for that, I guess the backpack would work since they're going to be toting it around all day.
It's not practical for the type of yard.
Right.
Yeah, I did use a similar system with a backpack, and it is a little bit tedious when you're doing small yards and you're doing 15 to 25 a day, and you're having to take the backpacks off and back and on and off every 10 or 15 minutes. It's hot, and then also I had some issues. I don't know if it was just the backpack or other things. I had some issues with some nerves in my neck and stuff like that from having to bend over and carry a backpack all day. I'm going to test it tomorrow and see if that's still the same. Either way, I don't, I might love this equipment, this piece of equipment, or I might be happy with what we're currently using. Either way, I'm sure it's built like a tank, just like the other Eagle equipment we use. I've been using this stuff very heavily commercially for over 2 years, and I've never had a single motor burn up, never had a single issue with any of it. So the quality is something I don't question one bit. I think the backpack might be more practical for guys doing commercial properties where you're going to be on that property for 2 or 3 hours. For smaller residential lawns like we do, that it's just a little bit slower having to put a backpack on and off every few minutes. So that's my guys' opinions on the equipment. It's very well made. It's lightweight.
As far as it goes, for the line of work it's meant to be used in, it's a very nice weed eater. It's very lightweight, and I can imagine for somebody that has to carry it around for 2 to 3 hours at a time, that this would be the better option in this because it's more lightweight.
Sure.
The guard, for what we do, but the rep told us they got a smaller one. For what we do though, this guard is just too much. I had trouble getting in tight spaces, doing my edging and stuff. But it's not a bad feature at all, and we recommend it to somebody that did do commercial work.
Sure. And like he said, Eric told us from Ego that they're already working on doing a smaller guard. And most guys, just like ours, most guys, I'd say 90% of guys pull off their guards anyway. So, that probably wouldn't be an issue for most of you. But it is a little bit of a big one right now. But they are, coming out with one that's much smaller. Tim, anything else good, bad about it that you...
No, just like he said, it's a good weed eater. But it's definitely meant for a lot more commercial use than what we have. All in all, it's a good weed eater, but as far as comparing it to the one that we already use, it's a huge difference.
Okay. And just to clarify, when they say commercial, they mean on commercial properties, not, we are using this stuff commercially because we're a business and we high volume business where you're using this stuff all day long. But more on larger properties, commercial properties where you're going to be there all day, where you're going to be blowing off a parking lot for an hour or two, you're going to be trimming for a couple hours. I think this stuff would be very well suited for that because it would be a real hassle to have to go back to the truck every 30-45 minutes to get another battery or swap batteries all the time. And then like they said, it's just a lot more weight having to have the battery located on the piece of equipment. It works out good for us with the small properties, but
this little piece right here, this connector piece, where we can put these weed eaters on that's nice.
Sure.
That's
oh yeah, that's a cool, that's a good point, guys. So you can actually, this is a little false battery, and we can use it. We can just use this as an adapter and use the current, any of the Ego equipment. So we could use this backpack, probably even with the mowers. But you can just use this system right here, plug it right into your existing trimmers or any of the Ego equipment that you have, and then all you have to buy is the battery. So you know, that's one way, that's one option we could use to still use the Ego equipment that we love, and be able to take advantage of the higher battery capacity. So there's a lot of versatility in the Ego system, and like I said, they're just amazing pieces of equipment. I can't say enough about Ego, and I've tried a lot of different ones. You know, I'll make another video tomorrow of my personal review. But guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for you.